Okay, so I feel like a bad friend, and I'm trying to be more specific with the stuff that I talk about. I feel like a bad friend, and I feel like I keep trying to change, and it's not really happening. Um, I feel like I keep slipping into this pattern of fear of saying what I really mean. Um, I mean, that's always been an issue, but actually, it hasn't always been an issue, but it's coming on strong, and there's this insecurity, there's this overall fear of who I am, um, guilt, shame, and it seems to be rooted in this sense of just failure, just all the things I feel like I've done that I've failed at. Um, and even making these videos feels affirming to me of that cycle because I keep processing and I keep doing these things and then I keep coming back with the same shit. I don't think there's anything new I have to say here besides the same shit I've been saying. And I need to get at something that's different because it will happen again if I don't. And the mistake seems to be that I keep trying to change and I don't. I start changing and I don't actually go through with it. Changing as in being a better friend or having better boundaries and saying no. Um, and I get this sense that the universe or myself or whatever wants me to just make a decision and stick with it, and whatever decision I make to just accept it and go with the punches. Don't second guess it. If it turns to shit, let it turn to shit, but allow it to turn to shit. And um, to just make a decision and stick with it. And there's something deep in me that just wants to scream no, but there's no alternative. Logically, there is absolutely no alternative. You can't have it both ways. You can't be in the middle. You can't stay in the middle. Um, you have to make one decision or another. If you take a friend in, take a friend in. If you don't. If you need to set a boundary up with someone, keep it. And if you're challenging yourself to be more open minded and open hearted, do that. Um, and maybe the issue is I keep trying to see it as either or, and maybe it's not either or. Maybe the solution is in the middle. But this isn't working. This processing, it works for a day or two, and I do the same thing. So this is not working. I'm staying stuck. So I'm going into this expecting this is not going to fix me. I'm just going to fucking speak whatever I need to speak. It's not going to be to fix me. It's not going to be to fix another person. It's not going to be about any of that bullshit. It's What do I need to say? What do I need to say? I feel lost and confused right now. And shit, everyone does, in a sense. We're all afraid of what's going to happen in the future. We all know that. We're all trying to make the best of the present. We all know that the present cannot last. We're scared of aging. We're scared of dying. We're scared of being alone. We're scared of not being taken care of. And those things happen. And they can happen anytime. At least death, they can happen anytime. And even aging, it happens when you least expect it. At least for me, I feel like the last 10 years have just been. I feel like my 20s were just a blur. I feel like my 30s are. They were promising, but it's just a blur. Um, of all the things that I said I wanted to do and wanted to do that I chose not to do because I overthought them and I got afraid. So, what can I say? What do I need to say that's not just like just this pity party? That's not. I feel like I need to say that I'm fucking scared. But what am I doing with that? What's going to happen from that? What fucking needs to come through? I feel frozen here. I feel frozen and stuck. And um, fuck. If I can take this pain and just create with it, then it's at least something useful. Then it's here it is. I can shape it. I can put it on display. It's outside of me. It's doing something. If I can do that, then it's at least doing something. It's not being stuck. I can create something out of it. Poetry, music, a video, a story. At least then it's useful. Um, what else? What else is there? You know, what else? What else do you do? There's coping. God, just fuck. I'm trying to undo this version of myself. I'm trying to undo it because I feel I got carried away. I feel this immature part of me took over, and I feel like um, time is being wasted with not making decisions, or with I just feel time is being wasted, and I'm so sick of making this about me, but at the same time, I need to be fully here. I need to be authentic. And my power comes from that. My power comes from my heart. Um, it comes from being clear. And if this crap is just in my system, I'm not able to be clear. But it keeps happening, and this isn't enough. There's something is not enough. I can cry and break down right now, and it's not enough. I can scream, and it's not enough. And I'm fucking angry, and I'm sad, and I'm pissed off, and I'm exhausted, and I can get that out, and it's not enough. And I want to make a difference in this world. I feel less and less capable of doing that, but I want to, and I don't know why I allow this. um, it's an obsession, a fascination, maybe. It's spinning. And it goes nowhere. I'm so afraid to speak. I'm so afraid to speak. I'm afraid people won't listen. I'm afraid this is bullshit. I'm afraid it's useless. I'm afraid I'm going to get up on here tomorrow or next week, if I choose to even do this again, and it's going to be the same thing. And what is the problem with that? No change. The problem with that is you stay stuck. You don't ever see what's on the other side, or if you do, you see it for a moment. There is there's this expectation that it's not going to happen. There's a looking at myself and saying, you've been running in circles for years, so what makes you think you're going to actually get out of this? And this isn't anything other than just myself, it's other people too, but it's myself, it's me saying yes or no to things. No to opportunities, yes to drama, or yes to beating myself up. Yes to going in circles. It's me, and I feel I deserve it. want so bad to escape this, but I feel I deserve it. So I guess it's not going to change if I keep feeling that. And I want to make it just go away, and it won't. Because I guess I need to punish myself or something. I want to appreciate this life. There's this crying, screaming child, but this life is precious. It's beautiful. It's a living, responsive thing. It's sacred, magical. And, facing your deepest fear might mean facing the emptiness or the black hole inside you, loneliness, fear of death, fear of not existing. In my soul, somewhere deep down, I don't want to run from that. I don't want to ignore that. But this life is precious too, and it is magic, and it has its own. It has an intelligence all its own, and most people don't see that, and it's real. Most people don't see that, and a lot of people won't see that in this lifetime or whatever. You start talking about this and you sound crazy. It's mystical sounding or whatever, but there's a fear of other people. There's a fear of the system. There's a fear of something, some kind of force or entity or just people backlashing against me, I guess, for some reason. I think it's because I've been hitting my myself so hard, hitting and hating, butting heads with myself, with parts of myself, and it's been scary. It's been a lot. And every failure I feel like I've made, I keep attacking myself even more. And I feel like I'm just trailing, and this is just more bullshit because I've said this before in so many different ways, and I keep choosing to do it for some reason. But it's gotten scary. I want to say scarier. Before, it was fear of what would happen to other people, and there were situations in my life, and I was still recovering from a loved one's suicide, and there were other situations happening that, I'll just say, re-traumatized me and triggered me, and I got kind of stuck in that. But this is a different level, or this is different. It's before, at least, I could still climb out of it pretty quickly and see that I was being delusional and stuck in fear, stuck in a trauma response. and ultimately fighting my own sense of grief and loss and not processing it and running from it and blaming myself, which made it worse. But this is different. This is a different kind of thing. It's similar. It's rooted in that, I think, still, but there's definitely grief behind it. But this is just incredible self blame, incredible shame. Um, it's just attacking myself, and it's feels makes me feel small. It makes me feel weak. Um, it makes me feel like I need to overcompensate, like I need to get validation from people. And I've always had it, but this is feels ugly. And it feels ugly because it's so heavy and it has so much hate. And I know that I'm losing it. I know that it's hard for me to keep it together. And focus if I focus on myself, which just means just taking care of myself, getting enough sleep, meditating, doing this, I guess, sometimes whatever I need to do, um, walking, nature, um, I can stay grounded. But if I don't do those things and I start attacking myself because I feel like I made a big mistake, um, it just kind of builds up. It's built up a lot, and it's just kind of this. I guess it's this mountain of shame, and it's like now I feel it more physically. Now I feel it like going dizzy, and the tension is greater, and it's like it's just harder to focus, and it's but I had a concussion a couple months ago because I got in a car accident, so that might be at play here too. Um, but I think it's and then you know stress, how it affects us. But this thing feels like it's taken on a life of its own. This force of shame and self hate and self disgust, and it started. It had valid things to say at first, ways that I was being selfish, ways that I was disrespecting both myself and other people, ways that I was lacking reciprocity, starting to take more than I was giving. Um, Ways that I was lacking commitment and integrity to what I thought was most important to me. And when push came to shove, choosing to run instead of face it. Um, all of those things are things that I was doing. And I needed to embrace that realization, and I think to fully face it, um, to just feel all the grief, because there was grief behind it, and pain, and to just fully face it. And it felt so fucking painful. It felt like I was gonna die, which sounds extreme. I think it was just part of me trying to die or something, shedding something, an old habit, old pattern, old way of being. I think I was at that place, and I needed to do that, and I needed to see the pain and face it to do that. Or something, I think that's what I needed to do, and I didn't. And so it kind of kept me stuck, and I kept kind of circling back around. I would see like I needed to come back to that pain and face it, would start to, I guess, and then I would hightail it again. And it's just like cat and mouse with myself. And you can only do that for so long before you start cracking, and before shit gets weird, and you lose sense of who you feel you are. I guess I'm strong enough that I didn't fully crack under that whole fucking pressure. But I had a lot of support too, and I still do. So that helped. But it's like you're exhausting your system. You're pushing your system harder than it needs to be pushed. Versus facing the pain, I believe that facing that pain head on and not running from it and just going into it is fucking a hell of a lot easier and less exhausting than this fucking cat and mouse with different parts of yourself, with your pain. It's that whole fucking game is probably more taxing than just fucking facing it. And I'm scared that I'm not just scared, I'm terrified of being stuck. Logically, I guess I was more terrified of facing the pain, though. But fuck, I tried. I mean, I tried many, many times to do it. I tried on my own many times. I tried with other people. Maybe not enough. Maybe it wasn't enough, but and it did kind of keep feeling like each time I went right up to the edge of it and had to process out crap just to get to that place again. It would just feel like I was gonna die, or it would feel like all I can say is I would just get this choking sensation and feel like I was gonna vomit, and I had this fear of losing my ability to love. Is what I really was afraid of. I had this fear that I wouldn't be the same, and I wouldn't be able to love in the same way. And I was terrified of not being able to truly love in this lifetime. And I thought I was choosing that over, I don't know, something that I thought would happen um, anyways at death. Um, I figure when we die, we lose ourselves anyways. Um, it doesn't make sense now in that regard, but I mean, it doesn't, but I think it kind of goes back to, you make a decision and you stick with it and you don't keep going back and forth. I think because I didn't fully face that pain, it did keep me stuck. I'll just say developmentally. I sensed that there was some kind of maturing process that was happening and was gonna happen further if I just did that. Something important to my growth, development, I'll even say future success, but whatever it felt like, I'll just say this, whatever it felt like this soul wanted the most in this life, that felt connected to that. But um, oddly enough, I somehow decided that it wasn't. Um, but it feels like this is a lower tier from from either of those. I'll just say facing the pain and keeping my ability to love. I'll just say this what feels like some third option is just going back to the old, same old. It's just immaturity. It's playing a game. It's mediocrity, self pity, shame, wanting others to save me, wanting others to validate me, wanting to save others and rescue them so I feel more important or like I have a sense of purpose. Um, just old shit, old patterns. And somewhere there is a fire still that says it doesn't have to be like that. And there's this fire that just wants to put up a middle finger to anyone's thoughts and beliefs that say otherwise. It feels like I've taken on so much shit from other people that's not intentionally malicious. It's not anything other than just what most of us believe and think. And what most of us believe and think is bullshit. It's crap. It doesn't serve us. And to me, that's a fucking fact. And it just feels like I've just taken on more of that stuff and lost a little bit of my own spark. And it feels a little grandiose to say. It feels arrogant to say that, but it feels arrogant because I'm not living it. This is me trying to take that step again to do it. I know it's a series of steps, and you have to just keep taking those steps until you have enough momentum to keep the wheel spinning again. And then at a certain point, the way it's always worked out for me is when you start building momentum again, at a certain point you get tested again. Whether it's just facing your own inner shit, your pain, your grief, whatever, or something in life that comes up that tests you again. And you either face it or you don't. If you don't, you go back to the same fucking loop. And if you do, I'm assuming you transcend that particular loop. And I'm assuming you move to a higher order of challenges. But you're not supposed to know what's on the other side of it because it defeats the whole point. If you were to know with certainty what's on the other side of it, it wouldn't be a test. It would just be, I don't know what it would be, a no-brainer. Part of the test, I feel, is you have to show, if not courage, at least uncompromising integrity. You have to take a leap and just see where it goes and not try to control it. That does seem to be some kind of secret to life. I say this with irony because I feel like it's I almost feel like I'm just parroting people, but it's true. I can't even say it with full conviction, but if I think back to times when I actually followed it, if I really think back, when I wasn't trying to control things is when life tended to work better. And I think the fear all of us have is when we try to let go of the need for control, when something really terrifying is in our face. And it's easier to do that when things are going well, but when we're afraid that we're going to die, or someone we love is going to die, or one of us is going to get hurt, or our survival, or even just our sense of stability is at risk, most of us try to control it more. And so we stay in a world of control. And that's exactly where we're at, in a world of control. Relatively speaking, but yeah, there's this need, because it's fucking fear, but there's this fucking need, this desperation to control things, and it's just this fear, and it's like it's scrambling to just get a fucking hold because it is terrified it's gonna fucking die. It is terrified it's going to die. God, it's so fucking scared of it. It's just, it needs everything to be perfect, you know? But it's deeper than that. It's just, like the possibility of losing your housing. The possibility of losing um, people close to you. Or feeling called even to do something that just feels completely out of your comfort zone, just out there, physically, emotionally. Yeah, it's scary, and it doesn't work. It works. I mean, it works in a way. Maybe that's just part of me fighting that, but it works to the extent of keeping us stuck, but keeping us stable and in a place that feels familiar. It thrives on predictability. It thrives on expectations. It thrives on everything going exactly the way that we want it to. And it's just this controlling fucking thing. And I get it. It's like a kid. And it's crying and it just wants things to be safe. And it can have it to a relative degree, but it's not going to have it forever. It's not guaranteed to have it. And it comes at a high cost. I've seen what it costs when you prioritize safety for independence, even as an older person. You trade, in my opinion, you trade quality of life for safety. It's how the medical system thinks. It's how healthcare thinks. And I do get a sense like it's like stealing. It's like stealing something from you. It's giving you something in return, but it's very possible that that thing it gives you isn't worth the price that you pay for it. So I look at myself and like, what am I? What is the cost of my safety and my comfort? Without giving energy to any part of me that wants to just escape because it doesn't want to face discomfort or pain. Because that's the disguise. That's escapism. That's avoidance. That's not what I'm talking about. But the part of me that is willing to face that in pursuit of something higher, you could say, but in pursuit of its own integrity, being uncompromising. And there's something in me that's afraid to be uncompromising because it wants to balance everything. It wants to weigh everyone's thoughts. It wants to protect people, or it wants to meet everyone's needs. And it's not possible. You cannot meet everyone's needs all the time. You can't even meet your own all the time, let alone other people's. And you can't babysit other people. You can't constantly walk on eggshells around other people to try to protect their feelings. It's not possible. And trying to do so just creates resentment, and it creates backlash. And people sense it. And that's not even really what I want to say. I mean, I already know that. It's the scary part of just actually doing it. And I feel like I fucked myself so much just with this mentality, just with this kind of thinking. It's turned my brain into something that doesn't work for me as much anymore. And I have to kind of step back and rewire it and train it to go a different way. And if that means being more spontaneous and just saying what I truly feel, even if it's offensive or doesn't make any sense to a goddamn person, maybe that's what I need to do to heal. And yeah, I get that there's part of my brain that's probably always going to be there and always was there, that has a hard time filtering things out, and that has, for whatever reason, a need to hyper focus on things sometimes. And it can have a one-track mind, and it's sometimes it's like a spinning pinwheel, and once you kick it and get it going, it has this motion that just kind of this momentum that just kind of keeps going. Whatever it focuses on, something stupid, something meaningless, something negative, whatever, or something really cool or positive or beneficial. It doesn't matter, but it can just lock onto anything and just spin and you can't stop it willfully. You have to kind of let it burn itself out, and then you can kind of ease into just slowing it down, and then bringing it to stillness, and then reevaluating and switching gears. It's a bit of a process. Trying to force it to stop makes it worse. And then I feel kind of less in my body, disassociated from my body, and in a sense disassociated from some kind of impulse or drive or heat. I'll just say integrated aliveness, where in, I'll just say hermetic terms, the elements of me are not in sync. My fire, my water, my air, my earth, they're either in conflict or they're way out of balance. Something like that, it's just a metaphor, but And we throw ourselves out of balance when we go against the flow of things and when we try to control things. And it's trying to control things that gets us out of the flow of things. So, yeah, it's, yeah. It feels like in a way it's been too much, sorry, fire and air. Um, heat, anger, blame, and then air, just the overthinking, being flaky, capricious, indecisive. But I know that intuitive aspect is still there. We'll call it the water. Well, whatever, whatever you want to call it, but that intuitive aspect that allows, takes in, and moves with, that is able to kind of sense the whole, sense the deeper underlying current, gestalt, and can move with it without any force. I know that's still there somehow because it comes through in certain moments, but it's like it's blocked. I'll just say by ego, blocked by ego, blocked by fear. And then earth, the body, groundedness, connection to nature, being able to meet my physical needs. Yeah, sleep, food, all that stuff. The air can take a bird's eye view and kind of see things clearly when it's in its strength, and the fire gives heart, it gives commitment, integrity, energy, power. You're putting yourself behind something, you're putting skin in the game, you're doing something about it. And I feel those things in place, all those things in proper, I'll just say balance, harmony, whatever, which isn't some mystical state. It's just, I think, the way we're naturally supposed to be if we just get out of the way. Then all those things, those elements, I feel come into natural fruition and balance. So it's not a mystical state, it's just authenticity, I think. Yeah, when all those things are in harmony, I feel like that's like the foundation for maturity and living a full life as a human being. But for all my talk around this, I don't think it actually helps. I think it's just as simple, like I was saying, like as simple as just getting out of the way, letting things flow out, and then it takes care of itself. And what really feels blocked is more my heart. My heart feels blocked. It feels isolated, icky, stuck. Yeah. It feels fucking like there's almost an impenetrable wall around it. And I don't think that's fully true, but it's like the wall comes and goes, but when it's there, it feels like it's impenetrable. It feels like it's not going away. But I know there are times when it does. Um, it's heavy, dense, tight. And so when it's blocked, the mind has to take over to compensate. And it just goes off in its own fucking crazy shit. Um, and it's just disconnected. And yeah, this heart is wanting, it's like longing. Love. I want to say it wants to let go, but it doesn't. I mean, it wants to let go. It wants to embrace change. It doesn't want to be selfish. It feels scared. It wants to feel free. this might just be my head, but it wants to cut out all the shit from other people, or just the beliefs, the opinions, the emotions, just other people's stuff. It just wants to just stop taking it on and just not. And there's resentment. It wants to be able to hold space without resentment, but right now it just wants to stop that. And I think the resentment is ultimately about myself, resentment towards myself for letting this happen, for doing this when I should know better, when I've been taught better by multiple teachers and people. And that's just judging myself too. It's just so much crap. Because it's not the truth. It's people's symptoms and beliefs, but it's not the truth. Most people don't actually say what they really want to say, or what's hidden underneath. It's not necessarily a conscious decision. It's just it's how we're trained, how we're taught. But the stuff most people bring as baggage, it's not really their inner truth. It's not the actual thing. Because if it was their lives would change just by sharing it. In some, at least, small way. So I don't have to feel guilty for not wanting to take on that stuff. I want to see people's truth. I don't want to see their lies or their baggage. I want to see their truth. Which means I have to see my own truth. I need to be willing to see my own truth first. And I guess this is it, or part of it. It's one aspect of it. And there's more, I'm sure. God, I'm fucking trying, though. And maybe that's my truth right now, that I'm not just trying, but I'm doing it. Even if it's in a small way, even if it's one step, it's not all the way. Cool. It's a step. And I don't have to be angry and pissed at myself for just taking a fucking step. Because, I am starting over in a way. Undoing the damage that I caused myself, to myself, and trying to, just do that, to get to a place I was before, in a way, and hopefully maybe even further than that, even though it's never going to be the same as before. But it's a step, and that's not a reason to hate myself. Yeah, my mind is spinning because there's this fear now of how are other people going to see this and believe, and what are their fucking responses? And I just want to just not give a shit. Everyone has their opinions and beliefs, and they respond to what they think they're seeing in the moment. Fuck it. Um, and people care, and it's like that's great too. That's not a bad thing. Um, but fuck it, if there's a need to just step on that idea that I need to say things the right way so other people can hear it and understand. And maybe even deeper than that, there's just this need to be validated. And I don't have to push it away because it's real, it's there. And I can just sit with it, stay with it, and that's just there. Just a need to be validated. Fear of losing contact, fear of losing touch, losing people, just losing, fear of losing.